Hello and welcome to the news update. I'm Joan Odenibo.
On the news update, the governor of Anambra State, Governor Chukwuma Soludo, has announced free education for students in senior secondary public schools in the state. Meanwhile, the International Peace and Civil Responsibility Center has held a one-day training and sensitization workshop for accredited election observers and media personnel ahead of the Anambra State local government election holding on Saturday, September 28, 2024. In a separate development, Electoral Commission has presented certificates of return to the Edo State Governor-elect Monday Okpebolo and his deputy Dennis Idahosa. On the foreign scene, the House of Representatives has on Thursday approved the first reading bill seeking an alteration to the 1999 Constitution to allow independent candidates stand for elective offices in future elections. And finally, in the update, Israel's defense ministry said on Thursday it has secured an $8.7 billion aid package for the United States to support the country's ongoing military effort, including upgrading air defense systems.
And that's much you have on the news updates. Do also follow us on our social media platforms at Afia TV Official. I am Joan Odenibo. And thanks for watching.
You're welcome back to the Afia Business Morning, and you are most definitely watching Open Bell right now. Today we'll look at activities from our selected exchanges, the Nigeria, New York, London, Shenzhen and Shanghai exchanges. We'll also see how commodities are faring in the open market. But first, we'll be taking a quick look at some business news stories making the rounds. We're starting off from the continental economy, where it is reported right now that Eskom is seeking 36% price hike amidst financial struggles. It's reported that South Africa state-owned power utility Eskom Holdings SOC Limited has requested a 36% increase in electricity tariffs for its 2026 financial year, where the request was submitted to the National Energy Regulator of South Africa, NESRA, with Eskom citing their previous price hikes have been inadequate to cover its escalating financial needs. Away from that to the global economy, Google is complaining over Microsoft's cloud practices. Google, the internet search engine, has filed an antitrust complaint at the European Commission against Microsoft over alleged anti-competitive practices in its cloud licensing system, which targets Microsoft's cloud platform Azure, which Google argues restricts European customers from moving their workload to competitors' cloud systems. Details of these stories and more will come to you on Global Business. And moving on, we'll go straight to the floors of our featured exchanges. And like they say, charity begins at home. So we started on the floors of the Nigerian Stock Exchange this morning, where the NGX all share as at yesterday. Index closed on a low, incidentally falling by 0.47% to close at 98,523.56 points. I'm interested to know that a total of 344,355,846 shares valued at 6,609,136,259 naira were traded across 9,005 deals with equity capitalization of 56,614,994,492,185 naira 48 kobo. Let's take a look at the biggest gainers and losers of the day. I'm interested to know that the biggest gainer of the day was FTN Cocoa, which rose by 9.82%. Other gainers were the likes of Ella Lakes, Deer Cap, Regal Insurance, and RT Briscoe. However, on the other hand, Keverton topped the losers list again with a decline of 9.73%. Other losers were the likes of Cadbury Nigeria, ABC Transport, McNichols, and Okomo Oil. We're going to quick break. When we return, we'll be looking at activities from all the selected exchanges, the likes of the New York, London, Shenzhen, and of course, the Shanghai exchanges. The Afia Business Morning and indeed Open Bell. We'll be right back. Please stay. You're welcome back to the Afia Business Morning, and indeed you're watching Opening Bell, and we're going straight to the floors of other futures exchanges, starting on the floors of the New York Stock Exchange this morning, where it's mostly rises in index values across board. With the only value down is the NYSE Fang TM index, which is down 0.41%. However, the NYSE Composite TJ is up at 0.71%. The NYSE US 100 index is up at 0.21%. Dow Jones Industrial Average is up. S&P 500 index is also up at 0.58% and 0.28% respectively. Moving on, the Nasdaq Composite and the Nasdaq 100 are also up at 0.37% and 0.36% respectively. Moving on, let's take a look at activities from London. The London Stock Exchange is our next point of call. Well, you may try to tell there's all rises in index values across board. The FTSE 100 is up at 0.20%. The FTSE 250, FTSE 350, FTSE All-Share Index are all up at 1.23%, 0.34%, and 0.34% respectively. And now we're going to be taking a trip to outside the continent of, outside the West, basically. We're moving to Asia. Asia, we're stopping off at China. China has two exchanges, so we're starting off at the exchange at Shenzhen, where, interestingly, it's all rises in index values across board. And notice the level, the percentage point here. Shenzhen Component Index is up at a whooping 4.44%. SZSE Composite Index is up at 4.00%. The China Index is also up at 4.42%. Now, the same order of events happens right when we move to Shanghai, still another exchange in China. It's all rises with huge margins, I tell you. The SSE Composite Index is up at 3.61%. The SSE 550 Index is up at 4.69%. Star 50 Index is up at 3.87%. The SSE 180 Index up at 4.20%. The SSE 380 Index is up at 4.00%. And the CSI 300 Index also up at 4.23%. We're going to quick break. When we return, we'll be going straight to checking out commodity prices as well as consumer price watch in the open market. You may want to follow this program, join in on conversations on our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel. Kindly type in the search bar www.youtube.com/@Afia Business. And while you're there, do well to hit the like button and remember you should subscribe so you get notifications on all business related content coming to you from Afia TV. The Afia Business Morning. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. My name is Ubong Kings.
I am Marvelous Akwamaga.
I am Chioma Akbala. This is not a real market show like this.
Welcome back. I am Ubong Kings. This is still the Afia Business Morning, and you're watching Opening Bell right here on Afia TV. It's time to check in on commodity prices, and we will begin with precious metals. It's upward movement for gold today, and indeed all precious metals on the chart this morning. Gold is up at 0.28%. Silver is also up at 0.43%. Platinum is also up at 2.06%. Palladium is up at 0.44%. And away from that, let's take a look real quickly at activities from energy. Energy this morning, we're interested to know that natural gas is down. As a matter of fact, it's almost all dips really for almost all commodities here, except of course for ethanol and coal, which are both up at 0.94% and 0.04%. However, natural gas is down at 2.01%. Oil Brent, oil Bonny Light is down, are both down rather, at 2.16% and 2.84%. Brass River, Quaibo also down with the same margin of 3.76%. Away from that, let's take a look at industrial metals. Now it's more rises in this one than dips. Aluminium, lead and tin are down at 0.68%, 0.29% and 0.77% respectively. However, iron ore is up at 0.40%, copper is up at 0.17%, nickel and zinc are also up at 0.76% and 0.49% respectively. You are still watching the Afia Business Morning, and this indeed is Opening Bell. Do it to follow this program and join in on the conversation on our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel. You may want to kindly tap in the search bar www.youtube.com/@Afia Business, and while you are there, do to hit the like button and remember to subscribe so you get notifications on all business related content coming to you from Afia TV. Up next, we're going to be taking a look at the hikes in prices of food commodities in the open market, as well as hikes in fuel prices. And on that note, I will see you on Monday on the Opening Bell when the exchanges reopen for trading. The Afia Business Morning will be back in a bit. My name is Ubong Kings. Stay tuned.
Premier League games wherever you are on Showmax Premier League. Available now on Showmax.
My name is Ubong Kings.
I am Marvelous Afamaga.
I am Chioma Akbala. This is not real market show like this.
Thank you for rejoining me on the Afia Business Morning. Welcome to Global Business. And here we'll be taking a look at business news stories around the continent of Africa and indeed the rest of the world. My name is Ubong Kings. Here are the headlines that we're tracking at the moment. Starting off from Africa, where it's reported that Eskom seeks a 36% price hike amidst financial struggles. And outside Africa, Google complains over Microsoft cloud practices. And into the world of automobiles, GM recalls 449,000 vehicles over a brake light issue. We'll bring you details of these stories and more right after this break. Stay tuned. You're watching Global Business right here on the Afia Business, and we begin with business stories from Africa, where it is reported that South Africa's state-owned power utility, Eskom Holdings SOC Limited, has requested a 36% increase in electricity tariffs for its 2026 financial year, where the request was submitted to the National Energy Regulator of South Africa, NERSA, with Eskom citing that previous price hikes have been inadequate to cover its escalating financial needs. However, Eskom, burdened with heavy debt and facing declining revenue, has been striving for years to provide stable electricity for the largest economy in Africa, as the embattled utility responsible for providing the majority of the country's electricity has seen prices triple over the past 14 years. You know, one thing from this story that strikes me prominently is the fact that let's relate this real quickly. In Nigeria, isn't really the only country in Africa that has pretty much increased its energy tariffs. Well, like that story did say, South Africa has seen prices triple over the past 14 years. Yet another is in the offing. That is the 36% increase. And the question now is, what will be the effect of this 36% 6% increase on the electricity tariff. What would the effect be or have, so to speak, on South Africans, individuals, families, units, and even businesses? Anyway, ENCA captures this and now reports. Let's take a look.
The prospects of a possible 36% electricity price hike next year isn't going down well.
We have to talk about this. Please, we have to talk about this, especially for the old people, for the age home. Like the money, electricity is going up, then the money is not going up, it's going down. No, guys, come on. I don't know what I can say, but this is not good.
The price is already high. If we buy 100 units, we get like 100 rand, we get like 20 units, so it's bad for us.
Businesses too say they are already feeling the pinch.
We used to spend about like 1,000 rand for electricity. Now it goes up to 1.5, 2,000, and that's a lot impacting your business.
It's already difficult with with the current pricing. Can you imagine almost half increase in electricity? I think we're going to have to take more, cut down on more staff members and possibly increase prices again.
Civil society and unions say the increases over the years have already reached the ceiling.
The tariffs of Eskom have been increasing by astronomical margins since 2007. Some estimates say they've increased by 800% in nominal terms.
Where are these costs coming from? These are the costs of corruption. These are the costs of mismanagement. We are having to bear the costs of years and years of Eskom being run badly, and now you're passing that on to the consumer.
The power utility and the National Energy Regulator of South Africa declined to comment, saying they can do so only once Eskom has made the final application.
Away from that to other stories, in this time from the world of tech and social media, where it's reported that ByteDance's TikTok has announced that it will shut down the TikTok music streaming service on November 28, which comes as the company has struggled to turn its success in marrying music and videos into a service that could take on the likes of Spotify and Google's YouTube. However, TikTok did not give a reason for closing its global music streaming service, but in January it shut down Resso, its music streaming service for the Indian market, after it was banned from app stores in the country. Furthermore, with the shutdown, TikTok intends to focus on the goal of furthering its role in driving even greater music listening and value on music streaming services for the benefit of artists, songwriters, and the industry. Let's hold up real quickly. Let's look at something. This development may not be unrelated from the proposed ban. Remember a proposed ban of TikTok in the United States, of America? Oh yes. Even though this story sort of emphasizes that the TikTok company, that's the owner, ByteDance, has struggled to turn its success in marrying, music and videos into a service which they were hoping would take on the likes of Spotify and Google's YouTube, but that really didn't play out as anticipated. Anyway, latest Lee takes a look at this development, and this report is presented for our studios. And meanwhile, it's pretty much an infographic, so you may just want to take note of the wordings that come up on the screen while the video plays. Let's take a look. Anyway, you're still watching Global Business right here on the Afia Business Morning here on Afia TV. You may also kindly join in on the conversation and more on our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel. Kindly type in the search bar www.youtube.com/Afia Business. And while you're there, do us the honors of hitting the like button and remember to subscribe so you get notifications on all business-related content coming to you from Afia TV. Up next will be more business news stories from the world of tech, auto, and from the world of the automobiles right after this time out. Stay tuned. You're welcome back to the Afia Business Morning right here on Afia TV. You're still watching Global Business. Now to the rest of the stories. And we're going to be taking more business news stories from the world of tech, where it's reported that Google, the internet search engine, has filed an antitrust complaint at the European Commission against Microsoft over alleged anti-competitive practices in its cloud licensing system, which targets Microsoft's cloud platform Azure, which, of course, Google argues restricts European customers from moving their workload to competitors' cloud systems. Furthermore, Google claims that the platform blocks customers in through the Windows server, which is central for applications and Microsoft services, with Microsoft imposing financial penalties on businesses wanting to use other cloud providers, as well as security and interoperability obstacles. Now, this report, if you ask me, brings something to the fore. I don't know about you, but this, I have experienced this, first-hand experience, so to speak. I've had this happen to me, where you cannot use another app or something similar, cloud, specifically cloud service. But then, with Microsoft, as it were, imposing financial penalties on businesses wanting to use other cloud providers, as well as security or interoperability obstacles, this truly is an issue. Little wonder there's this competition ongoing amongst three people, the likes of Google, Microsoft, and Apple. I'm interested to know that these three persons were put in a certain mix, but then that report tend to tell us exactly how Microsoft came out to dominate these other two rather. Let's look at that report as put together by CNBC as about 3 years ago. Let's take a look.
Microsoft Windows debuted in 1985, and for the past 2 decades, it has been the dominant PC operating system worldwide. In 2020, Windows had almost 83% market share by unit shipments, while Google Chrome OS had 10% and Apple's Mac OS had 7%.
Bill Gates' vision was to put a PC in every desk in every home. We've struck a chord with Windows where people feel like it's their product, it's their operating system.
From solitaire to its iconic start button and startup sounds, productivity apps, gaming, and corporate computing, Windows changed the way we use computers. The legendary Windows 95 helped propel the company to dominate the market in personal computing. Microsoft has introduced many versions of Windows since its inception, with some more memorable than others. Today, there are more than 1.3 billion devices running Windows 10 worldwide on a monthly basis. Windows only makes up 14% of Microsoft's business, but remains a critical part of it.
Windows has been a key piece of Microsoft's business almost from the beginning. It wasn't just critical because it sold PCs. Windows was critical because it sold Office, the graphical user interface, programs, Word, Excel, PowerPoint. That's why it's been critical to their business and remains critical today.
The company just announced the latest version, Windows 11. Back in the 1980s, using a computer was very complex. When it was first getting started, it developed MS-DOS 1.0, short for Microsoft Disk Operating System, for computer maker IBM. Microsoft specified that IBM would not have exclusive rights to the software, leaving open the opportunity for the company to supply other hardware and computer makers the same OS. Windows was not thought of as an operating system in the early days, but a graphical user interface, or GUI, that would run on top of MS-DOS. One of the first personal computers that used a GUI was the Xerox Star, which would be very influential, according to Bill Gates, on both Microsoft and Apple's GUI designs. Apple's Lisa was the first commercial PC to have a GUI, and in 1984, the company unveiled the Macintosh. At the time, Microsoft created software specifically for new Macs, including the first version of Microsoft Word. The two companies made a confidential agreement in 1985 that allowed Microsoft to use any of Apple's interface elements in its software. After Windows 2.0 was released, Apple sued Microsoft for copyright infringement. However, the court said Apple's copyrights were covered by the existing agreement. Apple appealed several times, but the court denied their petitions. At the time, Microsoft was building another OS in parallel with IBM, which was called OS/2. Microsoft began to de-emphasize Windows, with Satya Nadella saying in 2019, "The operating system is no longer the most important layer for us." That was after the company split the Windows team into pieces the year before. Two main engineering teams now focused on experiences and devices and cloud and AI platforms. Two major areas of focus.
Well, let's face something real and emphatic here. From that story, you'll notice something, that Apple had always been somewhere in the mix in all of this. And you notice that if you're sincere with yourself, for every app or innovation that is done in the world of Microsoft or Android, you see a commensurate done also in the world of Apple and iOS. Check it. I'll let you to go do your research yourself and tell me what you think about that. But then again, in an attempt to end this bulletin, let's take you to the world of the automobiles, where General Motors, GM, is in the news, which happens to be an automobile manufacturing company, is recalling about 450,000 pickup trucks and SUVs in the United States due to a potentially inoperative low brake fluid warning light, where the electronic brake control module software on impacted vehicles may fail to display a warning light when a loss of brake fluid occurs. And this is as opined by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Now, meanwhile, the recall includes 2023 model year Chevrolet Silverado 1500, GMC Syria 1500, 2023 to 2024 Chevrolet Tahoe Suburban, GMC Yukon XL, and Cadillac Escalade and Escalade ESV models. Furthermore, GM said a company engineer submitted the issue to its Speak Up for Safety program in April after observing no elimination of the required telltale during a forced brake fluid leak test, adding that no injuries or crashes have been reported. Now, yeah, last part of that sentence or paragraph says no, injuries or crashes have been reported. But then again, if you ask me, I'll say categorically that this story opens up a whole vista. Highlighting the flaws of some vehicle brands. Some weeks ago, it was BMW with some fatalities recorded, and near fatalities recorded as well. The other time it was Tesla with near fatalities and apparent fatalities also recorded. Now it's GM. Now GM is the parent company, so to speak, for the Chevrolet, Suburban, GMC, of course, and the Cadillac. But then, how would this happen? I mean, imagine picture yourself in this case scenario. You're driving your car. All your mind is your brake fluid is good. I mean, it doesn't show any indication. Only for it to jam the brakes at the point where it looked like something was imminent, an accident was imminent. But you jam the brakes and it's not working. It doesn't catch it, and there's a head-on collision. Think about it. But then your gauge shows that you're good. Anyway, Dino Trends takes a look at this issue in our reports. Let's see it.
Here's what you need to know about a massive recall affecting hundreds of thousands of SUVs and pickups. This recall is significant and could impact many drivers across the country. General Motors is recalling over 449,000 SUVs and pickup trucks due to a software glitch. This glitch is not just a minor inconvenience. It has serious implications for vehicle safety. This issue prevents the brake warning light from activating, even when brake fluid is critically low. Imagine driving without knowing that your brake fluid is dangerously low. It could lead to catastrophic consequences. The affected models include some of GM's most popular and luxurious vehicles. Affected models include the 2023 to 2024 Cadillac Escalade, a vehicle known for its luxury and performance. Chevrolet Silverado, a favorite among truck enthusiasts for its durability and power, as well as the Chevrolet Tahoe and Suburban, which are popular choices for families and those needing extra space. And GMC Sierra and Yukon, both known for their reliability and performance. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration warns that driving with low brake fluid can severely reduce braking performance, increasing the risk of accidents. This warning highlights the importance of addressing this recall promptly. GM will provide a free software update to fix this issue. This update is crucial to ensure that your vehicle's brake warning system functions correctly. Notification letters will be sent out starting October 28th. The software glitch that has prompted this massive recall is not just a minor inconvenience. It directly affects the brake warning system, a critical safety feature in your vehicle. When brake fluid levels drop below a safe threshold, the brake warning light is supposed to alert the driver. However, in the affected GM models, This alert may not activate due to the software glitch. Imagine driving without any indication that your brake fluid is dangerously low. This can lead to a significant reduction in braking performance, increasing the likelihood of accidents.
You have it, increasing the likelihood of an accident. But then again, we follow up with this story as well as other stories as they unfold. And just so you know, we are live at the moment on our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel. Going forward, we'll be live on that particular page right there. You may want to kindly go there at www.youtube.com/Afia Business. And while you're there, to hit the like button, every member to subscribe. So just apart from the fact that you get to know when we're coming on live, you also get to see all business-related content coming to you from Afia TV. You're still watching the Afia Business Morning live from Enugu State, Nigeria. Come next will be a conversation or series, a compilation, I beg your pardon, of the series of conversations we had here on the program, special reference to the Eastern Business Reports coming up next after this time out on what I like to call the week in retrospect. The Afia Business Morning, we'll be right back. My name is Ubong Kings. Stay tuned. My name is Ubong Kings.
I am Marvelous Apamaga.
I am Chioma Akbala. This is not a real market show like this.
Looking to grow your business? At Afia TV, we've got just what you need. With our various on-screen advertising options like spacebags, lower third, sidebars, right in front of your audience. With our lower third, your brand messages appear during the most viewed programs on TV, allowing your audience to see your message without interrupting their TV experience. Now, if you want to go big, our spacebar is ideal because it puts your brand messages on spotlight without interrupting viewers' experience. With our sidebars, your brand messages also takes the spotlight on our screen, ensuring brand exposure. These advertising options are affordable, effective, and designed to drive results. Get started today and watch your business shoot up. For more inquiries, call the numbers on your screen.
You're still watching the Afia Business Morning. This indeed is the Eastern Business Report, which is designed to bring you up to speed on business activities and, well, policies that are affecting businesses and, by extension, the economy of the southeastern region of Nigeria. It usually comes right after global business on the Afia Business Morning. And on today's edition of the Eastern Business Report, we'll be doing a recap, so to speak, lack of better expression, by the way. I would like to call it the week in retrospect, looking at developing business stories and conversations. This indeed will form the essence of the Eastern Business Report today. My name is Ubong Kings. Welcome. Yeah, welcome back, and we're going to just go through it real quickly without a waste of time. And interestingly, through the week we had quite a number of conversations, and we're going to be starting off with Monday, basically. On Monday, in a monologue, I took out the time to look at issues around the soaring electricity bills, with special reference to specifics, if you like, around the supposed 50% electricity subsidies for universities, hospitals, and all of that. But the big part was the fact that in all of this, why does it seem like businesses are still suffering? Let's take a look at some excerpts from that particular session. Now, notably, 23 days after the federal government had announced a 50% electricity subsidy for public universities, polytechnics, and hospitals, that policy is yet to be implemented. And now, why does it appear, this is me asking a rhetorical, not necessarily rhetorical question, but of course a question nonetheless, why does it appear that the government seems to drag their foot to feet, if you may, on things that seemingly benefit the masses? Why does that always seem to play out as what it is? Because now, if there is eventually a 50% electricity subsidy for public universities, polytechnics, and hospitals, question is, what happens to Nigerian businesses? What happens to indigenous businesses in the lines of production and the likes? Pretty much, what happens to them? I'm also interested to know power supply difficulties have crippled the agricultural, industrial, and the mining sectors and have impeded Nigeria's ongoing economic development. I have more questions. Why does this seem to be not to be important, so to speak, for the government at the center, especially in the agricultural, industrial, and mining sectors? Why does it seem like its power is not as important as you would anticipate it to be? Under the past sector reforms of 2005, power supply and transmission was the sole responsibility of the federal Nigerian government. Yet, after the privatization and all of that, nothing truly changed. Now, is this a case of inadequacy of stakeholders or a function of the rot in the system? I'll let you think about that for a moment, because as of 2012, I'm interested to know that Nigeria generated approximately between 4,000 and 5,000 megawatts of power for a population of about 150 million people as at then, compared with Africa's second largest economy as at that time. You notice my emphasis as at that time, which generated about 40,000 megawatts of power for a population of 62 million. Hold up, let's look at those statistics again. Nigeria generated between 4,000 and 5,000 megawatts of power for a population of 115 million people. South Africa, within the same period, 2012 specifically, generated 40,000 megawatts of power for a population of 62 million. See the disparity right there. No wonder South Africa has overtaken Nigeria. Nigeria is the fourth largest economy in Africa. Fourth. South Africa is the first. It may interest you also to know that an estimated 14 to 20 gigawatts of power is provided by private generators to make up for that shortfall. However, Nigeria has a theoretical capacity. See how I put that? Theoretical. In other words, it's in theory. We just hear somebody called it audio something, right? 10,000 megawatts generation capacity. That's what it is theoretically. 10,000 megawatts generation capacity using existing infrastructure, but has never, ever gotten close to that potential. And it may interest you also to know that an estimated 14 to 20 gigawatts of power is provided by private generators to make up for that shortfall. However, Nigeria has a theoretical capacity. See how I put that? Theoretical. In other words, it's in theory. We just hear somebody called it audio something, right? 10,000 megawatts generation capacity. That's what it is theoretically. 10,000 megawatts generation capacity using existing infrastructure, but has never, ever gotten close to that potential. It may also interest you to know that 96% of industry energy consumption is produced off-grid using private generators. There was some analysis right there, and if you ask me, this some issue, you know, but a lot of times we play down on them. Few things I want to point out again, still from that particular session, the fact that Nigeria produces about 4,000 to 5,000 megawatts of power. As at that time, 2012, for about 150 million Nigerians, that has not changed up till now. As a matter of fact, we produce a little less than that capacity for about 200 million Nigerians. Meanwhile, we have a 10,000 megawatts generation capacity of power. Theoretically, I mean, it's on paper, it's there, but we've never achieved that. But then somewhere else, still on the same continent, facing the same challenges the whole world over is facing, is South Africa, which is producing about 40,000 megawatts of power for 62 million South Africans as at 2012. I'll let you be the judge of this. Meanwhile, we are live right now on YouTube. You may want to join us on our dedicated YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/Afia Business. And then, of course, while you're there, to hit the like button. And remember, you should subscribe so you get notifications on all business-related content that comes out of Afia TV. Of course, very important. Meanwhile, let's move on to the following day. On Tuesday, I was opportunity to play host to Timothy Namani, who is the founder of Youth Awakening and Development Initiative, and we took out the time to look at nurturing entrepreneurs pretty much which is expected to be a blueprint for national prosperity. Let's take a time to look at some excerpts from that session.
There's a lot of relationship between young people and entrepreneurship. Now, when you look at the Nigerian population, when you look at the component of the Nigerian population, you find out that the population is majorly dominated by young persons. So when these young persons are given the opportunity to learn entrepreneurial skills, and there is high propensity of increment and stability in the economy. You know, trying to correct some mentality. This mentality is the government must provide everything that you need as an aspiring entrepreneur. Now, you could start little. There's always a startup. You could always build up from what you, or build up with what you have at the moment. Then there is always, there are a lot of agencies over there, or government agencies who can, you know, to a very great extent, maybe support what you're doing. But that can only come when they have seen some level of prospect in what you're doing. You must be able to start. These problems are there, the lack of capital and the rest of them, but you must be able to at least start with what you have, the little that you have, before this support can come in. Most times what we have in Nigeria is young persons who just want to have everything. I want to delve into entrepreneurship, but I want the government to provide everything I need. That's why you find most of them complaining, we don't have this, we don't have that. Unknown to them that you can actually start something. You can actually start something from somewhere with the little you have. The people that we trained earlier this year, we're trying to see how we can empower them financially and otherwise. Funding has been one of the major challenges that we've been facing. You know, because sometimes we have to dig deep into our own pockets to have something sorted out. This is not completely disregarding that there are some organizations that have also come in to sponsor what we are doing. You know, there are notable organizations that have come in, Horizontal Properties and so many of them. You know, they've come in and they're acquiring and the rest of them. Now, but the major challenge has always been funding. Even till date, that is the major challenge we're facing.
Oh, well, that was me talking entrepreneurship issues, and the fact that pretty much it looks as if it's really tough to get into business, but then again, that's the sad reality we find ourselves, especially coming up the fact that our interest rate has been taken up a little more, and then the ease of doing business has not changed. I think it's even gotten worse now. And then a lot of young people are beginning to ask themselves questions whether or not they want to get into business. But the truth of the matter is, getting into business becoming an entrepreneur is not a small feat. But like he said, start where you are. A lot of persons will start from their homes. A lot of persons will start from wherever they find themselves. Just have the basic things you need. And I know sometimes you say, I need this, I need that, because without these tools I can't work. Attach yourself to someone who has them. Work with them. It makes your work easier, really much easier. I'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll be taking a look at other activities with reference to all of the conversations we had in the week. On Wednesday, I know I played host Emmanuel Chime, but then after this time out, we'll take a look at what we talked about and we'll see excerpts from that session. On Thursday also, I played host to Emeka Odom, and of course, all of that will come to you. But then again, you can join in on the conversation on our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel. You may be interested to know we are live right now on YouTube. So by all means, go there at www.youtube.com/@Afia Business. Go there right now and be a part of this session. Stay tuned. The program continues in a bit. Don't go anywhere. My name is Ubon Kings.
I am Marvelous Apamaga.
I am Chioma Okpala. This is a real market show like this.
Yeah, welcome back, and let's move on to this. We're looking at the week in retrospect, a special reference to the conversations we had here on this segment, the Eastern Business Report. Let's move on. West Air played host to Emmanuel Chime, who is a public affairs analyst, and he took the time to share his thoughts about Nigeria's strategic reforms and the fact that we want to take a cue from China. He said quite a number of things, but these key things I want to share with you right now from these excerpts pretty much covers the conversation in that session. Let's take a look.
If we have administrations after him that are going to continue with that, then you now discover that if that had been a conceptual template or developmental template, then discover that we'll get there. We'll certainly get there because we can actually track the level at which we are at a time. But in this context, everybody is only interested in, if you get to anybody, once it comes to office, you begin to talk about a different thing altogether. For goodness sake, if we have people who have vision, they will begin to talk about, yes, we can now track our development template, we can now track the level at which we are part-time. We can now say, okay, we are predicting that by 5 years to come, about 5,000 or 5 million or 10 million people will be out of poverty. I'll begin to talk about, okay, how feasible it's going to be. How much do we actually generate on our own? How much are we going to borrow? Now, if we are borrowing, let's say $10 billion US each year, that in the next 2 years, we're going to be borrowing maybe less because we already must have put certain things in place, and most of the investment we must have made must have started yielding by then. So we don't need to borrow more again. As then maybe we'll borrow less, and by the time we get to the next 5 years, we'll no longer need to borrow. We'll even be lending to others. Then we begin to run with that. We begin to call our think tanks, put them together, and begin to think. But today, do you think we can get this acts together? Then how do we now send our people to the bush to go and farm? How do we think that we can defeat the insecurity in the society? How do we think that we can chase away the banditry, or we can defeat them? How do we, because China talked about agriculture. So how do we think that our people can actually go and practice agriculture effectively? How do you think we can do that? If we're talking about China, China is very intentional about what they do. In China, you don't cheat on elections. In China, you don't steal their kobo. If you steal their kobo, even as a president, you are beheaded. I hope you're aware of that. Their penalty for corruption is killing. They don't leave you alive. So, but in Nigeria, and that's why they can be able to track their development and tell you this is where we're going to be, this is where we're going to be, or this is where we are currently, and this is where we started. But today in Nigeria, you cannot track it like that because a lot of things are happening, and people are only talking about interests. They don't care about what the cumulative values or the cumulative influences, or you talk about the cumulative consequences of actions and inactions of the government. Why are we living our lives surrounded in a lot of lies, lot of corruption? Why? Why are we making political statements that are not founded? Why? If you cannot see it in China, that's why China will be where they are today, and that's why China will keep climbing. That's why China will keep soaring. If we want to get it right, let's begin to work on, leave politics aside. When you want to get certain things right, talk about technocracy. Talk about policies that are people's-oriented. Open how to build Nigeria is not far-fetched. Just equip the youths. We have the arable lands. We have what it takes. We have the brain. We can think. We can create things. Stop killing ideas here. Stop destroying ideas. If we want to build our nation, at least we'll start from the area of, instead of importing cars, SUVs, We have Innocent here. We can expand Innocent by demanding from Innocent. At the time you discover that Innocent will be exported, we have our nurses that are being demanded for in all parts of the world. We can expand midwifery and nursing schools. We can begin to train more and export them. We can, invest in human capital development. It will give us a whole lot of returns. Instead of we putting up policies that will gag these nurses from traveling abroad, instead of putting up policies that will even bring back the ones that are already there abroad, bringing them down to Nigeria.
Well, you may want to get to our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel to go check out those conversations, by the way, available at www.youtube.com/@Afia Business. Afia Business. It's right there on your screen, so all you have to do is get that. Remember, you should subscribe so you get notifications on all business-related content coming to you from Afia TV. And by the way, we are live right now on YouTube, so this is live right now on YouTube. And then, moving on Thursday, I was opportune to play host to Emeka Udom, a seasoned public affairs analyst and journalist, by the way, and we looked at the cost of living crisis in Nigeria with special reference to the availability and affordability or not of cooking gas. Let's see excerpts from that session.
As we speak presently, it's not only the cost of, if it were only the cost of gas that has to go up, then people will quickly say, okay, well, let's but practically everything else, the price of cooking gas, the price of water, the price of transportation, the price of the food items themselves, every other thing, the price has gone up. And so Nigerians are grappling, trying to survive in a case of very dire, choking economy, and in the midst of all these things as well, taxes are also going up, and so it's a very difficult situation for people, and I can't think of any other time that things have been this difficult to live in a country that is richly endowed with all kinds of resources, both natural and man-made by God Almighty. And so it's very difficult, I must tell you, in simple language, to live in Nigeria right now is very difficult. And even not just for individuals, even businesses. Every day we hear of businesses are folding up because they can't do business in Nigeria any longer. The smaller and medium enterprises are finding it very more and more difficult to stay in business. And not much is happening in terms of grants, in terms of soft loans, in terms of interventions from government. So those who want to go to the bank to borrow, at what rate are they going to pay? We heard some time ago when the organized private sector came out to lament that with the interest rates that the central bank has put together, it will be difficult for any businessman to walk into any financial institution to secure some fund, to invest in a business. And so now that it has gone up again, what do you think will happen? It's going to be almost impossible. How many people are actually going into the bank now to obtain loans? But Nigerians must first and foremost have enough confidence, invest in the economy, make this conducive for them. Then people who are outside, Nigerians who are outside, cannot come in. Those who are not Nigerians themselves cannot come in. But we must begin by making things good for those who are here to go into business. So there could be alternatives, but remember also that we are in a global community, and a country like Nigeria. Yes, apart from firewood, there's I don't know. There was something they tried to bringing out something that is powered by ethanol. I don't know whether it's ethanol or some other thing else. That's a bit cheaper and safer too than the gas. But gas is the ultimate. Cooking gas is what a modern society uses. And why can't we use it? Are we not using it because we don't have gas in this country, or because Nigerians can't just afford it? Why won't we be able to afford gas? Why won't we be able to afford gas, for goodness sake? The point I'm trying to make is that it's a case of affordability, not necessarily availability. It is there, there's no doubt about that. But affordability, because Nigerians, the purchasing power of Nigerians have been eroded greatly by government policies in the last 1 year. I'm saying that is just the point I'm trying to make.
Well, you can have a full glimpse or full package of all of this on our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel. You may want to go there right now at www.youtube.com/@Afia Business. And while you go there, do well to hit the like button. Remember, you should subscribe so you get notifications on all business-related content coming to you from Afia TV. By the way, we are live right now on that same YouTube channel. You're still watching the Afia Business Morning live from Enugu State, Nigeria. Coming up next is Zonyi Afia. My name is Ubong Kings. Stay tuned.